All right, so have you ever looked up at a skyscraper, while it's being built and wondered, how do they get that thing up there?
It's a question for the ages.
It really is. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into the world of tower crane operators.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's a career that's anything but, grounded, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some pretty fascinating research from RoleCatcher on this. And let me tell you, it's not as simple as just moving some levers around.
Right, because when I think tower crane operator, I'm like, oh, easy. Just move that lever forward, bring the thing up, move it back, bring the thing down.
Right. Sounds so easy, right?
Yeah.
If only
But there's got to be more to it. So paint the picture for us.
it's a lot more than that.
Okay.
What does a day in the life of a tower crane operator actually look like?
Yeah, what's it actually like?
Well, imagine this, okay? You're perched hundreds of feet in the air, right?
Okay.
The sun is out, and it's just glinting off the city below. You're at the controls of this massive, and I mean massive, machine,
Okay.
and you are coordinating with teams on the ground, moving steel beams, concrete slabs, you name it all, with incredible accuracy.
Wow. Talk about a room with a view, right?
Yeah, best view in the house.
That's got to be the best view I have.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it takes a special kind of person to be able to handle that kind of responsibility, right? I mean, not just anyone can just hop
Yeah.
into a tower crane and start, like we were saying, moving those levers, swinging that steel around.
It's not as easy as it looks, right?
Right.
It's true, though. You're right. Not just anybody can do this.
Yeah.
It's a career path with real stages to it. And each stage demands a lot of more and more expertise.
Okay, so walk us through those stages.
Okay, so you might begin as an entry-level operator.
Okay.
You're learning the ropes, literally.
Literally, yeah.
You'd be assisting with setting up the crane, getting a feel for the mechanics, and you're observing. You're watching those seasoned operators do their thing.
Okay.
It's all about building those essential hands-on skills,
Mhm.
but also like developing this deep respect for the machinery and the safety protocols.
It's like an apprenticeship of sorts, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, learning the ropes. You start at the ground floor, no pun intended, and gradually take on more and more responsibility as you prove yourself.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. So as you progress to a junior operator, you're going to start taking on more independent control. You're going to be troubleshooting issues, coordinating directly with that ground crew, making sure everything runs smoothly and safely.
Okay, I have to ask because you're that high up in the air, you're responsible for so much. Those safety protocols, I'm assuming, have to be pretty intense. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, safety is paramount.
Of course.
You're talking
Yeah.
about meticulous pre-operation checks of the crane, constant communication with the ground crew, and a deep understanding of wind conditions, load limits, every little variable that could impact a lift.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the junior operators we read about talked about how they really honed their skills by coordinating with site supervisors and all these teams on this like particularly complex project.
Yeah.
They were able to maximize productivity, but safety was always the #1 priority.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because you can't exactly just shout down from the crane cabin when something's going wrong.
You can't just yell down, hey!
Right. Yo, watch out.
Exactly.
So it sounds like clear and concise communication is key.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Especially when you're troubleshooting issues or even just making sure that everybody on the ground is aware of the crane's movements.
Right.
Because one wrong move could be
Yeah.
disastrous.
Yeah, very bad. All right, so let's say you've moved up in the ranks, you've mastered the technical skills, now you're a senior tower crane operator.
Right.
What's changed?
All right, so think of it this way. A junior operator is like a skilled musician in an orchestra, right? They know their instrument, they know their part.
Okay.
But a senior operator is the conductor.
Yeah.
They're overseeing entire sites, mentoring those newcomers, developing strategies for maximum efficiency. They're making sure that entire orchestra of construction workers is playing in perfect harmony.
Gotcha. So you're not just stuck in that crane cabin forever.
No, not at all.
There's real potential for leadership and growth in this field.
Absolutely. And it's that blend of technical mastery and strategic thinking that really defines a senior tower crane operator. You need both.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's clear that this job requires, a ton of on-the-job experience.
for sure.
But let's back up for a second. Before you're even qualified to step foot in that crane cabin, what kind of skills are we even talking about?
Yeah, good question.
What does someone need to know from day one to even get started on this career path?
You really hit the nail on the head with knowing. A solid foundation of mechanical knowledge is absolutely essential.
So we're not just talking about, playing Tetris, right? We're talking about really understanding how things work.
It's a lot more than
Yeah.
Tetris, although spatial reasoning is a big part of it.
Okay.
But understanding the intricate workings of the crane, from its hydraulic systems to its load-bearing
Look
capacity.
at all those moving parts.
Exactly. And being able to, it's almost like being a doctor for heavy machinery.
Oh, I like
Like you
that.
got to diagnose those
Mhm.
potential issues before they even arise. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm hearing you like a passion for mechanics is a big plus here.
It helps.
Are we talking grease monkeys turned crane wizards?
I mean, it certainly helps. But it's not just about knowing your wrenches from your welding torches.
Okay.
You also need that sharp mind for spatial reasoning and the ability to interpret technical plans and blueprints.
Oh, okay. So you've got to be able to read those.
Like a pro, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're essentially translating those 2D schematics into real-time 3D
Yeah,
maneuvers
that makes sense.
with massive objects. It's a fascinating blend of technical and visual skills.
Wow. So you're not just like operating a machine, you are conducting this whole symphony of mechanics and logistics, hundreds of feet in the air. It's like a high-stakes ballet, only with steel beams instead of tutus, right?
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And speaking of high tech, we can't forget about the whole digital revolution that's happening, even in the construction industry.
That's right. We were teasing the impact of AI and automation a little bit earlier.
Right.
So how is technology changing the game for aspiring tower crane operators? And is it true what they say about these remote-controlled cranes?
It's true.
It's real.
It's really happening. Technology is, it's transforming the construction site in incredible ways.
Wow.
We're not just talking about remote-controlled cranes, but we're talking about cranes equipped with all these sophisticated sensors.
Okay.
Machine learning algorithms that are constantly monitoring wind speed, adjusting movements,
Oh, wow.
even predictive maintenance systems that can, like, alert operators to potential issues before they even cause any downtime.
Hold on. So we're talking AI that can practically predict the future of the crane.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty futuristic.
So what does that mean for the role of a human operator? I mean, if the machine can tell you everything, what's left for the human to do?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Because while these advancements are all designed to improve safety and efficiency, they also mean that operators need to really embrace lifelong learning. Staying updated on the latest technologies, it's crucial.
Okay, so you can't just like rest on your laurels, even if you're a really seasoned operator. You've got to keep your skills sharp.
You can't just coast on what you know.
Right. It's not just about muscle memory anymore. It's about mental agility and adapting to, like you said, this whole new wave of construction tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like if a traditional crane operator was like a skilled pilot,
Okay.
the modern operator is becoming more like an astronaut,
Okay.
working in tandem with all of this cutting-edge technology to achieve these incredible feats of engineering.
That's a really great analogy.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really highlights how this career really demands that, that unique blend of traditional skills, but also, like you're saying, that forward-thinking mindset.
That's right.
So for those listening who are ready to, reach for the sky, so to speak, how can they set themselves apart in what I imagine is a competitive job market?
You're right. It is competitive, and this is where that research from RoleCatcher gets really, really interesting.
Okay.
Because remember those job specifications, right?
Yeah.
And the need to really showcase your skills
Mhm.
in a way that's going to resonate with what employers are looking for.
Right. You were saying something about RoleCatcher being like this total game changer for navigating the job
It
market.
really can be.
Yeah.
It's like your, secret weapon for career advancement.
Okay.
One of its most powerful features is its ability to analyze those often daunting job descriptions, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And break them down into digestible bits of information. You can even identify which specific skills are in high demand for tower crane operators in a particular area.
So instead of like sending out these generic applications that all kind of look the same, you can use RoleCatcher to really target your resume
Yeah.
and make it stand out to all
Super.
those hiring managers out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just keywords. It can help you showcase your experience in a way that aligns perfectly with what that specific job is looking for.
Oh, that's really cool.
And don't even get me started on the interview process. RoleCatcher can help you prepare for those high-pressure conversations. They have AI-powered mock interviews, personalized feedback.
It's like having a personal career coach
I know, right?
in your pocket.
Exactly.
Speaking of high pressure, we've talked a lot about the technical skills, which obviously are so important, but this whole time I've been picturing myself hundreds of feet in the air, and let's just say calm under pressure doesn't exactly come naturally to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the source material actually touched on this a little bit, talking about the mental fortitude that's actually required to be a tower crane operator.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the mental game with this one.
So it's real. It's not just like, don't be afraid of heights. It's a whole other thing.
Oh, it's way more than that. I mean, think about it. You're responsible for maneuvering these massive objects
Right.
with pinpoint accuracy,
And people are counting on you.
often in really challenging weather conditions,
Right.
with lives literally
Oh my gosh, yeah.
hanging in the balance.
I don't do well with heights.
That's a lot of pressure.
Okay, so beyond just not being afraid of heights, what kind of mental, I don't know, strength are we even talking about here?
Okay, so picture this. You're in that crane cabin, the wind is whipping around you, you're coordinating with multiple teams down on the ground, and you need to maintain absolute focus every single second.
Sounds stressful.
It takes incredible concentration, spatial awareness, and the ability to make those split-second decisions under pressure. Because like I said, one wrong move could be disastrous.
Yeah, I can see why they call it like having nerves of steel.
Right.
So do you have any advice for our listeners on how they can develop that kind of mental toughness?
Well, experience is the best teacher, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But even before you even step foot into a real crane cabin, you can start honing those essential mental skills.
Okay, like what? What can you do?
Okay, well, mindfulness exercises can be really, really helpful for improving focus and like managing stress.
Okay.
And even something as simple as playing strategic games or like solving puzzles, it can sharpen those decision-making abilities
Yeah.
and your ability to like think several steps ahead, which is exactly what a tower crane operator has to do.
That's fascinating. So you're like training your brain to be more adaptable and more responsive, kind of like an athlete would train their body, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes this career so fascinating. It's this incredible fusion of physical skill, mental acuity, and that technological awareness. You've got to have all three.
It's like the ultimate test then of your head, your heart, and your hands.
It really is.
So it sounds like becoming a tower crane operator is more than just a job. It's definitely a career path. It demands dedication, a thirst for knowledge, and I imagine a whole lot of courage.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's a career that's always, constantly evolving, just like the skylines they help to create.
And for anyone listening who's ready to take on that challenge, remember tools like RoleCatcher, they can be invaluable allies
Totally.
in navigating the job market and showcasing those unique skills.
For sure.
So analyze those job specs, craft that perfect resume, practice those interview skills, and never stop learning, right?
Never stop learning. That's the key.
Right.
And don't forget to train those mental muscles like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's so important.
Because the view from the top, totally worth it.
And on that note, we're going to start our descent from this deep dive into the world of tower crane operators. Until next time, keep reaching for new heights, everybody.